Welcome back to Donington Park for more Radical UK Cup racing. So guys, congratulations on your win yesterday. Can you talk us through your race?
Yeah, well, my race was pretty easy because Andy had such a good start. He managed to get a little bit of a lead from second and third. So when he pitted, I had to re-overtake someone due to the pit stop penalties. But once I got past, I was able just to get my head down, tried to get fast lap, which I managed to get, and just pulled a nice gap from second and just took it home to the flag. I mean, Andy did all the hard work and gave me an easy job. So he's put me under a bit of pressure for today's race because I've got to do the same now. If I don't, I'm sure I'll be told off.
So talk us through the hard work stint of your first race.
Yeah, the whole weekend from testing on Thursday till qualifying and race yesterday has just been great. We've made a lot of setup changes with the car, and the car's just so much more easy to drive, and you know the times are up the road from most of the other drivers, which is great.
Excellent. And what have you changed about the car?
Can't tell you.
That'll be top secret.
So Bradley, this weekend's been your first time racing in the UK Cup. How have you found it?
Yeah, it's been really fun. You know, just the whole endurance aspect of it with the pit stops and all that kind of, you know, making sure you have to look after the car. It sort of adds an extra element to it. So, but no, it's been great fun, and you know, just like to thank Radical for a great opportunity to actually have a crack at it.
And how have you been getting on with James, who's your racing buddy today this weekend?
Yeah, it's been quite good. I think we've sort of both improved throughout the weekend, which is quite good, and the times between us aren't too dissimilar. So I think, you know, we might not be the quickest, but as an average pace, we kind of do quite well. So hopefully in the race today we can maybe, you know, push for a podium.
So Ben, you've been asked along by Radical here today to give the car a go. How have you been getting on so far?
Yeah, I think we've been going all right. I don't have much experience with the Radicals. I've had a couple of goes in an SR3 before and one go in an SR8 at Cadwell Park, which was pretty scary. Radical asked me along to race with Big Phil Abbott, the boss man, and given that he's built all the cars and done thousands of laps in them, I don't have any excuses for my performance. I can't blame the car. I think we've been doing okay. It seems like a really, really tough field this weekend. In the SR3 only race, there's a lot of drivers in it who, you know, have been very successful in championships like British GT in the past. So the level's very high, and I found it a baptism of fire. But it's also been really enjoyable because it means I have to try and race my game as best I can. It's been really good fun and a real test as well. I wasn't prepared for the level of competitiveness in the championship, if I'm honest. So. I've had to pull my finger out and just try and get on as best I can.
Well guys, you've had a really successful season so far, and can you talk us through the journey of how you got there?
Yeah, it's been an eventful one so far. Either we've finished first or second in pretty much every race, so that's been good, but adversely our rival Konstantin Kalko has done exactly the same, so hence we're pretty much tied on points. I think we're ahead due to fastest laps, and that's about it. So no, it's been good though so far. We just need to reverse the tables and start winning a few more.
And how was your race yesterday, David?
Yeah, okay, we managed to salvage second place, and Rob managed to salvage second place, so a little bit disappointing, but if we can turn that around today and win, you know, we're where we started this weekend, which is good enough, and then one race meeting to go after that to decide it.
So that will be the decider then?
Yeah, Barcelona. Whatever happens in this next race, we'll both go there with a shot at the championship, which is the third year running for David and myself, and hopefully this time we'll come back with the right number on the car rather than the wrong one.
So Jennifer, you're racing along with your father today for the first time. What made you decide to do that?
Well, Donington's a great track. It's nearing the end of the season, so we'd give it a go and see what it's like, and we've had a great time. It's quite hard to be competitive with the top end of the championship. They're a bit quicker than the Clubman's guys, but we've had a great weekend so far.
Excellent. And how did your racing go yesterday?
It was a bit of a disaster. We had a hilarious pit stop where I parked the car with the wheels turned all the way around, and Dad then stalled it going out the pit. So everyone else had their 60-minute pit stops, and we were there for about 3.
Well, the SR3s are lining up behind me, ready for their chance out on the track here today at Donington Park. We've got in pole position Bradley Ellis and Andy Cummings, who are looking to achieve the same success that they did yesterday, and of course Rob Weldon and David Thorburn, who are looking to defend their title. So it's definitely a race where anything can happen.
Promises to be a very entertaining this one, as away they go on the formation lap with Bradley Ellis, the former British GT champion, in pole position, but he has got a very competitive field of rivals. All the field will be looking to usurp him as quickly as possible from the lead of the race, weaving around, getting some last bits of heat into those tyres before we go racing for 40 minutes with that mandatory pit stop here at Donington. So it's Ellis in pole position, Rob Weldon alongside on the front row of the grid, and Anthony Dunn and Tom Ashton on row 2. And Bradley Smith, superb qualifying to line up 5th on his debut in the Donington Radical UK Cup and Radical European Masters. It's the pace car about to peel into the pit lane. We will go racing very, very shortly here at Donington Park. Or will it be the wasp-coloured car, the yellow and black car of Bradley Ellis that gets the jump, or will it be the car of Rob Weldon, the red, white and black one, as the red lights flash out and away we go. And it's a good start for Anthony Dunn, who we ride in car with, but it's Bradley Ellis though who boxes him in into Redgate corner for the first time. Rob Weldon though tries around the outside, also showing strongly is Alex Capardia in the number 8 car, but he's still as wide, as does Jamie Stanley in the white and yellow car, and Stanley in particular a slightly lurid rejoining of the circuit as Weldon challenges Ellis as they go side by side down through the Crater curves. Absolutely fantastic stuff, but Bradley Ellis just holds on into the lead of the race, and that was such brave, committed driving from Rob Weldon and Bradley Ellis as Alex Capardia looks to make ground after his difficult start. It's Anthony Dunn who is in 3rd. Bradley Smith has come up into 4th position as they head through McLean's the first time and climb into Coppice, and you can see Ellis moving all over the road trying to deter Rob Weldon from squeezing through, but Weldon sits right in his wheel tracks as they accelerate onto the back straight and weaving around all of the drivers trying to break the toe of the car behind them. Then we've got Smith who's next up, and then Constantine's Calco has made a good start, so it's really Tom Ashton in the white and orange car who's slipped back. He's got Mickey Esposito right onto his tail. So they head out of the Vauctiesses into the Melbourne hairpin for the first time, and Andy Cummings from Rob Weldon. Anthony Dunn has got Bradley Smith right underneath his rear spoiler into the braking zone for Goddards, and Bradley Ellis, now that he's just broken that immediate challenge from Rob Weldon, he's going to have to try and break clear as quickly as he possibly can. That's what he'll be looking to do. He wants to give Andy Cummings, his co-driver, as comfortable a margin as possible for him. Whereas for Rob Weldon, he wants to do the same for David Thorburn, and he is chasing him down as they turn through Redgate corner. There's Bradley Smith in the number 21 car. Smith, who is potentially poised to claim the Performance Direct Radical Clubman's Cup title at Snetterton in the final weekend of October, which is also the season finale for the SR3 class in the Donington Radical UK Cup. Around the old hairpin, then they go under the Starkeys Bridge before they climb through Schwantz Curve into McLean's. A really fluid and flowing section of the circuit, this one that's immensely satisfying to drive, but also immensely frustrating if you're trying to overtake the car in front as well. He's got a good run here on Bradley Ellis, but he goes wide into the gravel trap, and across the gravel at Coppice goes Rob Weldon. He'll look to keep his footing and try and rejoin as he spins across the track right in the face of Tom Ashton. Ashton has to jump on the brakes there, and that's a scary, scary moment. And Rob Weldon incredibly lucky not to be collected by some of his rivals. And Tom Ashton, through no fault of his own, has lost several places. Good news for Ben Anderson and Jamie Stanley. They've both picked up a couple of spots as a result of that. We've got this break in the field from Constantine Calco back to Mickey Esposito. He's got Colin Noble, and that is Capardia onto his tail as well. Then it's Marcello Maratteotto, the Italian-Swiss driver, who is being pressurised by Ben Anderson as Capardia looks the inside of Colin Noble. Around Goddards they go. Maratteotto has the spin, and that's a real shame. So Maratteotto rejoins the action, but he has lost several spots. Esposito from Noble and Capardia work around Redgate corner. Well, let's have another look at this error for Rob Weldon here. Then ring car with Anthony Dunn. And Weldon, he was right underneath the rear spoiler of Bradley Ellis. I just wonder whether the car understeered off, and then Rob, being a racing driver, would have kept his foot in. Maybe Alex Capardia's view can shed a little bit more light. So Capardia goes to the move on Ben Anderson, slides through to the inside line. In pursues Colin Noble. We see the dust clouds up ahead of us. And where is Rob Weldon? Yes, there he is across the track. You see the orange car, Tom Ashton, jumping on the brakes, losing all the momentum. And through goes Alex Capardia. So in the space of one corner, Alex Capardia gains 3 positions. Bradley Ellis leads the way now from Anthony Dunn and Bradley Smith, with then Constantine Calco in hot pursuit. Alex Capardia having run wide at Redgate for the first time. He wants to move up the field as quickly as he can before he hands over to Tom Jordan. As we've got another spin, it's Calco who goes off this time at Coppice. So Coppice proving to be the bogey corner for these drivers. Calco will look to be rejoining as Alex Capaldi has got a superb run here on Colin Noble and may chance his arm to the inside line into the fog. Yeses, and Capaldi breaks very, very late and jinks through, takes the place away from Colin Noble. It's a very finely judged move that from Alex Capaldi. His next target is Mickey Esposito. Around the hairpin they go, accelerating on towards Goddard's and the end of another lap on the Donington Park Grand Prix circuit. And these hairpins at the end of the lap are particularly challenging for these drivers because the road really falls away from them into the braking zone. As we have another look in car with Alex Capaldi, there is the Constantine's Calco dust cloud as he rejoins. Capaldi then in the slipstream behind Colin Noble, gains the extra momentum, jinks out, and then brakes very, very late, just lets off the brakes into the Volk DS's, fights to keep the car going roughly where it should. Through he goes, and he has now got Jamie Stanley coming up onto his tail as well. So Jamie Stanley, who, like Alex Capaldi, had dramas early on, is going very nicely as the pair of them climb onto the tail of Mickey Esposito. Esposito sharing with Roger Bromley. He's a driver who's going to be very familiar to fans of radical racing in the UK. Roger's been mainly concentrating his efforts in Europe this season, but Esposito has been a real star this weekend. Very fine turn of pace. Although he's going to have his work without keeping Alex Capaldi behind him as Esposito hits the brakes down through the gears, through the 40S. And Esposito, he's running in the Bloodhound liveried car because that's the car that was driven a little bit earlier on in the season by land speed record holder Andy Green. Is up the inside goes Jamie Stanley. He takes the place away from Alex Capaldi, slithers a little bit wide as he plants his right foot, but he should have enough here to have the inside line. It's Goddard's. Yes, he does just about, although Capaldi goes wheel to wheel with Stanley. And also they've got the recovering Rob Weldon up onto their tail as well. So all the drivers who've had problems early in the race all congregating here in this train behind Mickey Esposito. Super scrapping here at Donington. Join us after the break for more Radical UK Cup action.